person who migrates either from his own country achienda kune imwe nyika pana anonzi push factors. There are things that will cause a person to migrate kubva kunyika kwake achienda kune imwe nyika. Kune zvinomusundudzira zvinogona kusanganisira kushayikwa kwebasa, lack of employment, seeking better opportunities zvinogona kupusha munhu kuti aende. Ukanzwa kuti kuBotswana kwaita mari izvezvi togona kungotiza, we can all start running away from Zimbabwe going to Botswana. Why? Because we have heard that there's money in Botswana. So the reason that's pushing us, these are what we call push factors. But then now, with the series of videos that I'm doing, we're talking about kwane push factors again, which are pushing us from South Africa going back to our land in Zimbabwe, pushing us from the UK, from Botswana. Kwatakamboenda kuya kuti kune greener pastures. The experience yatakava nayo for 10-15 years tiri koko yakatiratidza kuti there are actually also greener pastures in Zimbabwe. Yeah, if you are in Zimbabwe and failing to make it, I'm telling you, there are high chances that someone who's coming from South Africa would make it in that same environment. Takaona kukosha kwe kwatakabva, takaona kukosha kwe land redu. 10-15 years back, we didn't actually understand the importance of land. When the government was pushing on land reforms, we thought it was just a political statement and a political issue where people would just go and grab land. A lot of people were watching from the sidelines. But now, 15-20 years down the line, we now begin to see what is it that is in the land. I'm telling you, hakuna chinhu chakakosha sepanonzi pako, hakuna chinhu chakakosha sechinhu chinonzi land. With the land you can do zvakawanda, a lot of projects. Whatever you can do, there's a lot of things that you can do per land. Like I said in my previous videos, a lot of us, we are limited because we first want to ask. Toda kubvunza zvakanyanya kusaka huku market yehuku iri kupi, market yembudzi iri kupi, market yenguruve iri kupi. Before we start something, we so much want to do market research, which is a good thing. But when it comes to the things or the produce of the land, kazhinji you won't go wrong. Hakuna munhu, hakuna huku inonzi yakapfuyiwa ikashaya anotenga. Hakuna mbudzi dzinonzi dzakachengetwa dzikashaya anotenga. Hakuna nguruve dzatakanzwa kuti dzakaora mudzimba nekuda kwekuti kwakashaya anotenga. So the important thing is when you have got land, you need to start a project. Find the product first, then find the buyer. Statistics show kuti 300-400,000 chickens dzinourawa per day in Zimbabwe dzichidyiwa. And the supply for those chickens haisati yatokwana. Takutoimpota dzimwe huku kubva kuna South Africa idzo dziya dzakashandiswa nemaJackson. Yet kune vanhu vari kuZimbabwe vanogona kuita something, vanogona kupfuya huku vakadzitengesa within their community, vakadzitengesa within their market, kwete kuti takutoshandisa foreign market pazvinhu zvatogona kuzviitira tega. Today I want to talk about one push factor that should actually trigger your thoughts, trigger your mind to consider relocating back to Zimbabwe. Yes, I'm talking about a push factor. We all know kuti every month, if person are planned, you need to have a budget. If you don't have a budget, you don't know how you're spending. You can't control your spending. So unofanira kunge budget. Budget inokurakidza kuti mari iri kupinda imari and mari iri kubuda imari. And I want us to create just a small budget for a family yakafana neyangu ina baba na amai nevana 3. Or maybe kana yako ine vana 2. That's the budget can fit in. And want to see these changes that have happened over the years. Kudara taingoziva kuti salary munhu wanekwana. Way back salary munhu wanekwana. I will talk about South Africa because I've been staying in South Africa for the past 16 years now, and I've seen even kuti waituka rora mudzimai ari kuZimbabwe achiuya kuzogara neku South Africa. There was no need for the wife to work. You could actually carry the whole burden alone. Waigona kubhadhara rent, you could do everything. My budgets is waikwanisa kuzviita uri one. But we started seeing my marriages of convenience, whereby munhu muchiri kutori mukomana nemusikana nemutowirirana kuti yangu ichabhadhara rent, yako ichazoenda kune chakati, yako ichazobhadhara chakati. Kunzi ngatigarisane aya akuwanzoitika. Even those who are not married, my boyfriend and my girlfriend, vari kupinda muma partnerships yakadaro ekuti vanowirirana kuti yako salary inotenga cheuyu inotenga cheuyu. What I'm trying to say is that salary yemunhu wana haichakwane. Salary yemunhu wana haisitombokwana. You can't manage the whole month with one person's salary. If it's one person who's working formally employed, there definitely has to be a side hustle. You're getting money that you're working kwarukushanda, that salary, you're investing something, amai vakuti tachirana mutown, so that you do something. Ask us, isusu taizati mafundisi yao chaiwo kuZim environment. Mafundisi anga achinzi ashande. You're fully employed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mwana akarwara kwa mining, you have to be available. But things have changed. KuZim kwaitwa most visitation, would visit a mining, kunowaona kuti vari sei kwakade. But when it comes to South Africa, people are busy. Mashanda ma restaurants vanobuda na 12 midnight. achirara na 9 o'clock ada kuzorora achizonopinda futi na 3 masikati. You can't visit people in their homes, and this has left us, especially sevafundisi, ngopabata ipapapa, we've now opened our eyes and opened our thoughts that takuita my side hustle twedu, takutanga kuvhura company. I've actually run a media company. You do that on the side hustle because you're meeting people probably mainly on Sundays, maybe also on a Friday, once every month for that all-night prayer. But all this time that you have on your hands, you have to do something in order to generate income, because the salary usually, which does not even come, or the allowance that you get usually, which does not come, which comes after maybe once after 3 or 4 months, it has pushed us to just think beyond, be outside of the box, to think to generate a marise. And we want to construct a budget here for a person like me. So basically, you need your rent. A basic house like this one, which is a 2-bedroom, it costs around 4,500 to 5,000, depending nekuti ndekupi. There are RDP houses which the same house can cost around 2.5, 2,000. Location matters. So kana uri munhu ada zveflambo like yourself, you want to go home, zvinhu zvagadzirika imba yako, probably you need something that is nice, something that is overcrowded, somewhere where you feel kuti if you're privacy and all the lot. So it will cost you around 4,500 to 5,000 rands. Let's talk about chikafu. Food, generally around 2,000 rand plus. This is the minimum. Nyama, chikafu is expensive these days, chingwa. So let's put around 2,000 rand. Already tapa mari. If you're taking a house of 4.5 plus 2,000 in chikafu, you're already 6.5. Let's talk about school fees. Kunoku, kunema government schools. But also if you choose to live in a medium density suburb, takutotaura zvokuti kune private, you're choosing private because udaka life kamukake kauri kuti kari nani. Saka mwana anenge achibhadhara an average of 1,000 rand. Kunoku primary schools is 1.5 rands every month, and the child also need transport around 650 every month. So kana one vana 2, you're talking of, let's say ukubhadhara 1,000 in fees, 650 your transport. That's 2,000 for fees and 1,300 for transport, which brings us to 3,300 school fees and transport for Yuvanamago Varu 2. Tatopa 3.3. And that's a lot of money already. If you want to add the transport, if you want to add the bread, the food, and also the accommodation, tato end. So let's say une motkari. Yeah, you've got a car. Average motkari dzinobhadhara around 1,200 rand insurance every month. So wakuda mari insurance. Kana paipe pa transport, if you're not using anamalume, probably you're the one who's driving your children to school. If you have a car, you need insurance, you need your tracker. Kana muri kunoko, obviously makarongeka, you also need an azororo pumlani to be part of your insurance company. Ukubhadhara 189 or 89 rand your family year cover. So we have to put out your budget. There are also other expenses. Put around 2,000 something. What I'm trying to say is, if you put your budget very well, you discover that you need not less than 13,000 to 14, 15, going up, not less than 13,000 rand. That's around 750 US dollars that you need every month for a family of 5 people or a family of 4, babana maine wana 2 or babana maine wana 3, uri South Africa. Which jobs are paying around that amount, 14,000, just to cover the expenses? You're not talking about ucharzo pano kuna kuita mnarwara, pano kuna cha maria wachatumira kumusha. Akun ibasa ripi riri kubhadhara munhu 15,000 ku South Africa. Truck drivers, I'm not so sure. And kuti ushande kuita truck driver, you need my papers. Anenge aripo, kune zvakawanda zvinosanganikwa nazvo muroad. A lot of things along the way. So for you to survive, you need around 750 US dollars every month in South Africa. Let's take a shift. You are going back to Zimbabwe. Unogara pa village. Kumba kwenyu kuye kwamarondera kubwera kwedu kwamavhairo unogara pamba. There's no rentals. You simply, so which means we already to cut 4,500 to 5,000 rands. That's around 250 US dollars. Yatata cut off. Nikuti hapana rent. Pano kuna hozo diwa tumari tumwe tunobhadhara cancel. Kwedu kunobhadhara ma $3. Kudombosha ma $3. Unobhadhara per month. I know kuti kumwe hatombosvike mari inofura $20 in other cities. Yekuti unobhadhara per month for refuse collection and other stuff. So takata rent shit. In the Zim, insurance here to foot. Probably you just now need to take third-party insurance, which costs around $25-30 somewhere there. School fees yatosiyana. Government schools $30 kana uri secondary anenge $50 or so. You discover that you cut your expenditure by around half. If you're supposed to be spending $800 in South Africa per month, you're going to be spending around $400 in Zimbabwe. When it comes to sources of income now, in South Africa, you are already in a foreign land. Une limited land. Unogara maflats, hakuna kuti unochera munda wemaveji ukatenga kuita zvemaveji. KuZim, you have a vast land. Unoona kuenda murwizi, mugarden renyu musosera nemiti yamunotema uko. Makuisa maveji enyu, manesi, maseeds. Huko otangira ipapo pangonotora dzekwana mbuya nhingi, mbiri sheshe dzaunotenga $10-20 dzechiboy, wakutotenga kurarama life. The thing is, we still need tozoda ma-Wi-Fi, tozoda ma-flambo, but those things will come along the way. The same risk that you took with South Africa, why about you take the same risk going back to Zimbabwe? Are there no push factors that are pushing us from the diaspora to go back home? Are there no push factors? I believe there are so many push factors, guys. That alone says a lot. The healthcare system is nice here, but are we receiving the healthcare the same way we used to? Tisataita kunge takumakana, tisataita kunge tawandisa kunoku, saka takunetsa. Isusu pachedu tikutorira maresources evamwe vanhu tiri kuno. Tusvika paclinic uchienda nemwana wasikero, mune muri 15 madzimai ada kuendesa mwana sikero South Africa. Then you also begin to feel that we are actually becoming a burden. And if we want to be honest, most of vana baba ndo vane ma-permit. Vana mai vakazoyawo pama-accompanying nevana ma-stud permit and stuff. But in most people, vanhu vari kurarama vasina mapepa, vari kudhinisa ma-passport out, vari kudii. Wona kuti kurarama kwacho uri kungotiza mupurisa, uri kumanya uchidai so, the stress, there is no that peace. But imagine uri kurumuka, uri kumba kwenyu, kuvillage ikoko, uchimuka na 10 o'clock, shiri dzichikumutsa uko. Uri kuenda uchinotema meno masau ishuma, here uchimbobuda uchideso. That life is good life. Kufamba kwenguva uchazoita solar, kufamba kwenguva uchazoita bore. Zvichazonaka uripo paground uchitoita zvinhu. Rather than kuti you have got lights, even in the afternoon, tobadza lights, the fridge rana, the Wi-Fi is there 24/7, everything is smart in the house, the TVs, the stoves, but is there peace of mind? Is there that peace? And mikana yancho yekuwana mari to finance that life ichiriko here. Guys, want to take this discussion further. Tirambe tingotaura nezvazvo. Are you being pushed in considering going back home? I've seen in the comment section some have already moved back home since 2022, 2023. When pakanita COVID, they are already at home. Because to our chokwadi, in 2010 when you received my permit, we were saying 4 years. By 2014, life yangu yenenge yabondani zijagwa zideni, what. We thought it would be well. But guys, up to now we're still struggling. Let's talk about this. Let's discuss about this. What are your thoughts? Are you thinking of moving back home? If you already moved, if you already started doing something in Zim, investing, mukatotanga iri kungotenga mabrera 10, 20, uri kutanga kutsvaga kuti tanga fanosa kurai kumusha kuya kuenda da kuona kuti ndoisa imba yeuswa ere vanondoita sei. Let's talk about this. Rangu zita Godwin Chirume. To meet again in my next video. Let's keep the conversation going. Peace.